Hey there, fellow maker. Welcome down to the shop. Bill here. And today I'm super excited. Of course, I want to make something from Infinity War. And I'm all set up here, ready to go. And wait, what? Where'd all my stuff go? Oh my God! Where's all my stuff? Ah! Check it out. We've moved like half our stuff into our new shop space. And this place is really amazing. And we have enough stuff here that I'm confident that I can build something. I think there's enough tools and materials that have been moved over from the basement to make Captain America's new shield thing from Infinity War, which we just saw and it was amazing. Of course, I do know that Odin made one himself over on his channel, so if you want to see a different build like that, head on over and watch that one. But today, right here, I'm gonna challenge myself to make the same thing with limited tools. All right, so most of my tools have been moved over. I have some foam over there. I've got some more foam over there. I think that's what I'll use to make the shield. I've got some tools here, but I'm gonna go dig through everything and try and scrounge up what I'll need. I think I have everything I need. Here's the shield thing I'm making from Captain America. I don't have any paper, but I found this plastic sheet here. I can use that to make my template. I'm gonna start by tracing my arm, so I have a pretty good idea of how big it ought to be. Elbows over here. Make my turkey. There we go. So there's my arm, and I can start to roughly design this shape on this plastic. So normally I'd take this and throw it in my computer and trace this all as a vector, but I don't have my computer here, so I gotta make this work. I'm actually not crazy with how this is turning out, so I'm gonna double stack this plastic here and trace it. I don't have a ruler, but I do have this part of a shelf, so I'm gonna use that to make my midline. Again, nice and straight. And then I'm gonna trace the parts I like. So this, I think this is right. All right, this is super basic, but I think it'll do for what I need. There we go. That's the full size there. It looks like it's about the right size for my Captain America forearm. The most important thing I need to figure out now is this curve here. Now this is a straight line, but if I make that out of foam, it will just lay flat, and I want it to be domed a little bit. So this cut, this seam needs to be arched a little bit. So I cut this with a little bit of an arch so that when we glue them together, we'll get a nice 3D form. Time for foam. Gotta be careful tracing this. I don't have pins or anything to hold it down, so I'm just gonna pin it down with my hand. There we go, just flip it over and do the other side. Gonna cut these out. These inner seams though, I'm gonna cut at a little bit of an angle so that there's a bit of a bevel on the inside when we glue them together. Like that. Same thing with this one, only it's got to go inward that way. I also just realized this tip part is separate, so I'm gonna just cut that off. Save that for later. Ta-da! Fortunately, I thought to pack the heat gun, which is great because this stuff is kind of curling in the wrong direction. I'm gonna heat it up and hand form it a little bit. All right, it's time to glue, and I really hope we packed the contact cement. Of course, I've got silly string. Aha! Contact cement. So heat forming really helps, but using contact cement and then gluing this seam together will really give it the final shape that we want. That's looking pretty good. Let's see if it's on my forearm. Lots of progress. This is the pokey bit here, and that's gonna kind of go in like that, right around there. And there is a line here and there, a line like this. I'm just gonna carve some trenches there. Oh, that is not sharp. Where's my sharpener? Found it! There we go. A nice sharp knife makes all the difference. There we go. Got some detail on there. Cool, I glued the pokey thing on there, and I've cut out all of my bits and pieces to start gluing on the next layer of detail on here. Now I've got some thinner foam. This is actually, I don't think it's EVA. I think this might be Plastizote. I don't really know. I just found it in the pile. But it's about 1/4 of an inch thick, and that's what I'm gonna use to cut out all of these pieces for the next layer of detail. These raised bits of detail here are 2mm foam that I cut out, and these smaller parts I kind of like to use super glue rather than contact cement. Usually it's a little easier to apply on such small pieces. It can get messy though. There we go, there's one part. This piece here can go like that. Use another piece of foam here to kind of clean up my work. There we go. No, now it's stuck to my finger. Perfect. All right, it's time to paint. I'm gonna hit everything with a heat gun. That's all the sealing I'm gonna do on this. And I'm gonna use this foam color as my base color, but I wanna make sure everything's kind of heat sealed before then, so I have a fairly smooth surface to work from. For the paint job, this is really basic. There's just like a couple of parts that have a silver on them, and the rest of it looks like it's just got a bunch of dry brushing to highlight all the edges. So I just have some just some acrylic paints. Got these Angelus paints here. And I'm just brushing on the silver on these couple of little spots here. There we go. A little bit of silver on there. I think I might do 2 layers. The last touch here is going to be a little bit of dry brushing. So I've got a chip brush and more of that silver paint, and I'm just hitting the edges to help accent a lot of these lines and the different layers of detail that we have. Make it look like it's been scratched and beat up a little bit. There we go, compared to the blank side. go. That is my super quick Captain America Infinity War shield build. Done all with just a couple of basic tools that I was able to find in the mess that is my shop right now. I hope you enjoyed this build. I'm sorry I won't have templates for this because it's just a pile of plastic. But I just eyeballed all the design on this, and if you're gonna give it a go, you ought to be able to do the same thing. And again, if you wanna see another cool build on this prop, go check out the one that Odin did. So, as you can tell, we are moving everything from our basement into the new shop right now. We do have a bunch more videos coming out. We're gonna record all of our moving process. We'll have a bunch of videos in the near future about setting up the new shop. Of course, if you want to follow along on a more regular basis, we're going to put out vlogs every week on our Patreon campaign over at patreon.com/punishedprops. We'll do tons of behind the scenes stuff over there just for our patrons. And if you're already a patron, thank you very much. Because of your support, we can move into a shop like this. That's all I've got for you today. Thank you so much for following along. I hope you're ready to see some really epic builds coming out of the new shop in the near future. But until next time, I'll see you in the next build.